Hello and welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little motivation, a little inspiration, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I am Mike from Virginia. My gratitude this morning is for scheduling and flexibility therein.
Very good. Hey, good morning, folks. My name is Earl, hailing from the beautiful state of North Carolina. And my gratitude for this morning is connections. Connections with people, connections with my surroundings, and my environment.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson, and I yield from the wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. My gratitude is kind of twofold. First gratitude was being able to take a vacation with my family and absolutely absorbing every second of it. The second part of my gratitude is being able to come back to my work family and enjoy every second of it.
Love that, Jay. Hey guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude is for completed projects. So grateful to have a completed project done, right? So today, Jay Shetty talked about your unique skill set. His first question was, is it better for a river to be a mile wide or a mile deep? And then he talked about how our abilities and how to appreciate both the breadth and the depth of our abilities, right? He talked about sports a little bit, and he talked about like the team building part of sports, right? Like a basketball team, as they're getting ready for the next year, they may need a rebounder, or maybe they need like a jack of all trades who can cover a lot of bases, right? He talked about like needing a specialist and a generalist, right? When we consider what it is that we bring to the table, we think we're supposed to be all the things, right? And stand out at all of them and not be necessarily really good at one of them, right? We waste our energy a lot of times on the skills that we don't have, right? One necessarily isn't better than the other, like the river being a mile wide or a mile deep. It's not really one way or the other, right? It's both of them. But he talked about instead of fixating on who we aren't, we need to focus on who we are. This is a really good one because, like, if you think about it, like, we're all born with a talent, right? Now, and we're supposed to share that talent with others, right? Like, but a lot of times it takes us a long time to figure out what that talent is. Like, it's not something that, yeah, it's not something that we all of a sudden you turn 18 and become an adult and you know exactly what your talent is, you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing with your life, and you're on that course, right? That's not how it works. We wish it'd be make our lives a lot easier, but it's not. I mean, a lot of times our talents will evolve, right, into something more, something better, or we can hone in on those talents more, right? I think as we grow older, we kind of realize what we're supposed to be doing in this world, right? It's just a hard thing when you're younger and you're just trying to figure it out. What do you guys think?
I think in the sports world, and I'm not trying to brag, but my team won a championship game last night. I'm not gonna, well, yeah, really. But the one thing that coach pride himself on is putting the pieces of the puzzle together to structure a team that's going to complete, victory. If we lose that victory, if we lose that game, is what lesson did we learn from it, and how can we fix that right away? Everybody should have a place on their team. It's called do your job. Whether you're defense, special teams, or offense, or even a basketball team, you know, everybody needs to do their job. But the thing is, make sure you're all connecting together to to complete the mission. And it could be like this in business too. If you're on a team with your business, all right, connections I think is one of the most important things, because if you're not connecting, there's a piece that's missing, and that could affect your outcome.
Yeah,
So
or maybe they have
it,
somebody in the wrong position. You
right,
know, there's
in the wrong position, or it could be wrong timing for. I mean,
yeah,
timing.
definitely could be wrong timing. Maybe they're not ready for it.
Either that, or they were supposed to do something 5 minutes ago. They didn't do it, and then they realized, "Oops, I made a mistake." Okay, yeah, well, that mistake cost it. So but at the end of the day, it's about being complete. You know, I call it team spirit. So, and that's something that I think that's important. Mike or Jay, what do you got?
Go for it, Jay.
I think this is a very unique subject in the sense of look at the four of us. We weren't manufactured as a team. It was organic. Manufactured as a team is the sports world. And it's just the way it plays out. It's not a bad statement or a good statement. It's how it's done. Okay. Can chemistry come about within? Yes. Does it take a unique organization to be able to recognize and foster that? Yes. When it's organic, it's so much quicker. But the key is a lot of times I don't think we don't realize how good of a mesh things really are, whether it's a team or whatever, like you're talking about, Earl. Uh, the New York Knicks, man, they put together this year something that I never saw coming. And I'm not a gambler, and thank goodness for that because I would have lost big. But it is a cultural thing. It is a thing of I look at the four of us, and honestly, not so much as culture that resonates with me, but I think the respect that each of us have for one another is is we put that on top. It is the respect that we want or we just get. It's not that we want it. It's just that this panel that we have, we're lucky because that exists. Doesn't mean we always agree with one another. Matter of fact, our angles are a lot of times different, and all you have to do is listen because we'll tell you. But there's beauty behind it. And I think as far as what your unique skill set is, I think it's almost like your why. It does change. And I think a lot of it just depends on the setting that you're in and what it is that you're trying to move forwards with. And I don't know. Those are my thoughts at the moment. Mike, what steer me right, steer me wrong. Just glad to be here.
We're glad to hear from you. First thing I want to say, as a carbon-based life form, I've been organic my entire life. Oh, sorry, scientist in me. Yeah, I think I've looked back on my life, my careers. I think I've always been the generalist, but there were some areas of expertise with it. Well, I was expected to be a generalist. You don't know you don't know what a client needs until you know what a client needs. So you need to be able to pivot. But there's some things that I think I better than par on, but may not be work related.
Right. Yeah. And I think that goes with anybody. Like, I feel like we could be a generalist in some form or fashion within everything, but it usually ties into what our unique ability is, right? But sometimes we don't realize what it is in that very moment, like um I'm a very process oriented person. Like I love a good process, right? And I love diving deep and figuring out how that process works, how everything goes hand in hand, right? Like, but I wasn't always that way. Um, I just wasn't. But it's maybe because I wasn't in a position to be able to know that that's what I'm good at, right? Who know? I mean, it's hard to say because like, and being process oriented doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't mean that It just means that I can put things together, right?
So here's a question. You just made me think of this with how you worded that just now. And the question would be, do you feel as an individual when you're feeling confident, do you think that you're within your unique skill set?
For sure. If it's coming easy to you, again, that's the problem with our unique skill set is a lot of times it comes so easy and natural to us that we don't even think of it as like being a skill set. We're like thinking this is just what I'm good at. Like I think I got this, right?
So there could be multiple skill
Yeah,
sets within.
yeah, for sure. And a lot of times when it's at ease and it's calm and it's peaceful, that is definitely your skill set, right? Or if somebody says, wow, you did that really fast. Like, how did, like, or you did that, like, that seems like it came so easy to you. That's probably someone telling you that that is your unique skill set. But again,
No,
we don't necessarily think of it that way. Go ahead, Earl.
sorry to interrupt. Uh, you just touched up on something. We talked about skill set, and that it's also that you're opening up more. You're opening up your boundaries to that skill set that you have. Maybe being more creative with it. So sometimes you can expand yourself, be more creative with it, and if people see that, they're like, okay, this person's got something. You know, that's. I mean, don't try to overdo something that you're doing already. I mean, stick with your plan and just roll with it. But there's nothing wrong with sharpening your skills and say, maybe I could tack this on a little bit. Maybe this will, maybe I could do something a little of this. Sometimes we get tempted when we're doing projects. Sometimes your mind can tell you, hey, I can do this. And don't be afraid to try it because
Well,
it might.
there's the key. Don't be afraid. And I'm going to interrupt you right here because this is a valid point, what you just said, Earl.
Yep.
I think fear impedes unique skill set. And what you just said, don't be afraid because that fear is real. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of times our skill sets are impeded. Is that a good word, Mike? Yay or nay? By
Mhm.
fear. And we don't know how to overcome that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jay. On a personal note, I do some videos for my own business now on social media, and there's a little fear in me just standing to the camera and talking. I have to record myself about 10 times over. It wasn't so much a fear; it was building confidence in myself.
Mhm.
And you know what? I'm finally getting over that hump because I kind of critique myself, and I have three people in my little inner circle. I said I'm accepting constructive criticisms. They're telling me you're getting better. They say talk like you mean it. Talk like you own it. Low and slow. Don't try to overpower yourself. Just keep it in your speed, your gear. You got this. Be right to the point so people understand what you're talking about. So it took me a little while at first. It was like riding a bike. Riding a bike, you fall down a couple of times. Oops, get back, dust yourself off, get back, and keep pedaling. And that's what I did. And I think in this crazy world, you have to do that. If you slip and fall a couple of times, get back up. You know. And go ahead, Christine.
No, I was just agreeing with you. You're right. Like I mean, especially like Earl, you're doing something new that you haven't done before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So fear sets in, comparison sets in, like all this stuff starts setting in. And that's usually when we're giving up because we're like, I'll never be good at this. I'll never be as good as this person, such and such. Or, the comparison trap is usually what falls into place, right? Like I always thought I wanted to be an extrovert. Always. Like I'm like, why am I not an extrovert? Because I grew up like everybody in my family is an extrovert except for me. And there's 7 kids and every single one of them are extroverts. And I kept like throughout my whole life, I'm like, why am I not like them? Like I don't make friends like them. I have one friend, like they have like 5 or 10, like they know everybody. And I'm like the one that doesn't, right? So I always thought I wanted to be an extrovert. I always didn't understand. And when I was growing up, I didn't understand the difference. Like I didn't understand. but I'm like, why am I not an extrovert? So I kept
I
playing
think
that over
y'all,
and over. Huh?
I think y'all misread me. I still think that I'm an introvert to a degree.
I totally disagree
You
with
can be
that.
an introvert, but you're not an introvert. Like you can be one because there's certain times where maybe you just need to withdraw a little bit and, recharge a little bit, but your recharge usually comes from people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Christine,
That makes you an extrovert. If you
and
recharge in silence and you want to be by yourself, like to recharge your battery, if that gives me energy, but people drain me. Whereas, Jay, people don't necessarily drain you. Go ahead, Earl.
Christine, I'm going to say
go ahead, Ben.
you say that you wanted to be or aspired to be an extrovert, but sounds like growing up in with seven siblings, six siblings,
Mhm.
you just wanted to be heard.
Yeah, you're fighting for your right,
I was definitely
You
fighting for
wanted
right.
no
to be
doubt.
awarded.
Yeah.
But how many times have we heard in our business, you have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable? You because if you're too comfortable, then you may not be accomplishing what you want to do. Sometimes we have to try new things to strengthen our skills, whatever our skill set is, to get comfortable, to know what it is. Because I think that's a general part of life. Mike, did you have something?
Yeah, I was going to comment on what you said earlier about as you're doing your videos, you're getting more confident. Confidence is a fear slayer.
Right.
It is.
It is definitely.
Expectations is as well, because your own personal, we are our harshest critic. And expectations, as an example, we'll use you, Earl, and I'm not saying that I know that this exists for you, but I'm going to use you because it's a good example that you had to redo the videos over and over. Well, part of it was fear, part of it was the unknown, and you thinking that you wanted to get it right. But your expectations for the end game was hard for you to meet. So therefore you kept going.
That's
And
right. I knew I had to get on that path
yeah,
so people can see the real me, how I can help families. And the
so
thing is, I look at my tonality, my body posture, everything. I mean, am I my own harshest critic sometimes? Yes, I'm not going to deny it. But the
we
thing is,
all are.
that's because we expect the best out of us each and every day.
Expectation.
And when people look at our videos, they want to see a confident person. If they have questions about what we do, they want somebody who looks like they can trust. They've been in business for 20 years and they can be trusted. They can go to you anytime and bring their referrals and yada yada yada. I mean, it's the process. Trust the process. That's the key thing.
It's
The
tough.
other thing that Jay Shetty was saying as an overall kind of maybe undertone to this whole thing is never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing of it is the statement, you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. I'm not sure one ever is truly comfortable. I think that's what always keeps us going is we think there's an illusion that we think we're going to be comfortable. In other words, in our industry, rising to the different levels of rank, so to speak, we feel like, oh, when I get there, man, it's going to be so much better. Oh, when I have this, that's when it's going to be really good. And it's an illusion, but it's something, it's not a bad illusion because it is something to chase. So it's not a bad illusion, but you have to be realistic and your thoughts just a little bit. The phrase, be careful what you ask for. How many times have you heard that in your life?
Right.
Hey, Hey Jay, I just want to share a real quick story. I'm not going to give out any names on this one, but last night's game, one of the players, he was in the net. This is a guy who wasn't with the team in October. He was picked up. I'm not sure how they picked him up, but this is a guy that actually gave him a chance because they believed in him. This is a guy before he arrived at the team. Everybody thought he was a joke. They didn't think he could play his position. And I'll tell you what, the culture on that team, they said, we believe in you. Just, we got to put a little work into you. You're bent, but you're not broken. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Last night, he was a shining star. And he has come a long ways. Nobody knows about it. It's a very unique story about him. But I'll tell you what, last night he played like he was on top of the world because he was playing with passion for not for only for himself, but for the people who got him there, even the coach.
Here's an inspiring story. Right now in the World's College World Series of Baseball,
Mhm.
WVU is involved. They're playing. They lost their first game in a double elimination. They won their very first game. They lost their second game last night. But Earl, they played UNC last night, and
Mhm.
chances are they're going to probably end up meeting again to go to the World Series. They interviewed one of the players for WVU, and I just happened to catch the tail end of this. I'm gonna dig in deep to it, but they were asking him what was his favorite day of being a Mountaineer. Now, this is inspiring to me. You know what his response was, Earl? He said, the best day for me being on this team was I was able to baptize 5 of the players on our team. That was his answer. Not about being a true Mountaineer and playing baseball. This kid brought the spiritual world right in, not ashamed to do it in a world that kind of can get tough on stuff like that. And I thought, you know what? That's my hero for the day, was him. And
And
I
that,
thought,
that
man, that's amazing to me that he had the fortitude to be able not only to actually do it, but then when asked a question of such magnitude of being in the World Series playoffs in college baseball, first time WVU has ever seen that. And he gives that answer. Wow.
it is amazing, but it shows you that he's following his path. He's following his path. He's not looking at the outside world. He has to focus on himself. He's following his path where he feels like he's being called to, and that's perfectly okay, especially in this world. So God bless him. That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is
So,
amazing. And that's amazing that, like you said, he had the fortitude to say it, that
yes. Because a lot of people, particularly nowadays where NIL, how much money is being spent on the different programs within universities for sports, how much they generate. I mean, everything is from an economic standpoint, and it's almost taken the word sport out of sports. And so here comes this kid, and he's like, hey, curveball.
yeah,
I'm not a baseball fan, but I've been watching it and enjoying it immensely because it just, you see little things like that and you're like, man, I'm glad I paid attention. So I don't know. But Earl,
yeah. You guys think that we're supposed to aren't we supposed to use our talent in order, like whatever our talent is, right? To help others, like to help others shine and thrive. And like if we look at it as not as something that we have, maybe something that we have to offer other people, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's when the skill set shines at its brightest light.
For sure. And that's where you see people that are really successful in life. They know what their skill set is and they're good at it and they stay in their lane, because everything's coming, not, I don't want to say easy, but like the way they're using their talent is the way that it was meant to be used, right? And that's why they're a success because they know what they're good at and they do that really well.
But be careful because if you know your skill set and you stick to your lane, the lane might change.
Yes, yes.
Well, if the lane may change,
I'd be willing to bet that the lane always changes somewhere.
well, the lane may change, but you just have to learn how to pivot, and that's where you have to train yourself. That always have a backup plan.
Oh man, Earl's pulling out a little leapfrog action. I like it.
Here's a little, here's a little personal thing about me. I do not like using self-checkout,
See,
and I don't
as
like
much
being forced to use self-checkout but believe me, this, because 25 or 30 years ago, I was assured by management that ATMs wouldn't take away jobs.
Oh, right, right. Yeah. There's a reason behind why you don't care for self-checkout, to which I do agree as well.
Now, interesting
Yep.
enough, there was a report that came out last week, I believe, and may have been in the New York Times, that self-checkout is a loss management nightmare, and they're realizing that they're losing more money than they were paying in extra salaries.
Yeah, because I'm sure their fraud is,
Yeah, because one person overseeing
5 or 6.
20 or so
Oh, yeah,
customers at a time. Yeah.
yeah.
personally, I think self-checkout should only be for like one or two or three items. That's it. The rest of the stuff should go to the registers. I mean, I see these people with lows in their registers. I'm like, what are you doing in self-checkout? Lane two is open.
They're doing exactly what Mike says is taking place. They're not
Right.
actually clicking everything. They think they can lose some things in the shuffle.
Hmm.
And I believe it is intentional on a lot of parts doing that.
Actually, the where I shop, they now have cameras. They scan you as you're doing your checkout, and it will stop you immediately before you submit any payment. That said, help is on the way, and
At
they will
least,
watch. They will watch you like a hawk.
yeah, Sam's is that way.
Okay.
You can do
Yeah.
self-checkout and you can scan the item as you put it in the cart, and then it actually gives the number of items. And it is the
Right.
number of items when you leave that there's a person standing there counting, okay, you got 10 items, and I see 10 items. You're good.
Well, the
Well, now
thing,
it's
the thing
even
I
there
said
the thing
to,
that you walk underneath that scans it
yeah,
automatically.
That's
yeah,
crazy, isn't it?
the thing I
Go ahead.
said to the local manager at my favorite grocery store I said, just because Walmart does it doesn't make it right.
Why, sure. And I think just saying that is a good opportunity for me to segue on this. Folks, we are not licensed therapists. I think it's clear to see that. What's unique is we do provide 4 different angles on things. We listen to that calm with Jay Shetty on it. And Jay provides us with self-development tools that allows us to hold absolutely wonderful conversations. We hope that you listen and please participate. You can get online, watch it, and then comment away.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. We certainly hope you'll come back for more. And please leave us a comment as well. We'd love to hear from you. Peace, everyone.
Peace.